Welcome back everyone to AGB Cars. Today's video will be previewing the Ferrari team for the 2015 Formula 1 World Championship season. So, Ferrari have probably one of the most interesting seasons to witness this year. Last year, with the huge rule changes for 2014, Ferrari really struggled in all departments really. Their engine was nowhere near as strong as the Mercedes was, and then was overtaken by Renault through the season. So their engine will be something that certainly they will have to work on, as we all know. And they were ones who really pushed for the lift in the law against upgrading engines throughout the season. And so they have won that, and I think it's something like 32 tokens that you're allowed to use throughout the season, with certain upgrades costing an X amount of tokens. So, I mean, Ferrari think that will be an advantage for them, but it also may be an advantage for Mercedes, who are also allowed to develop their engine, and will certainly make theirs stronger as well. And then, as well as the engine, it was also the aero side of the car was nowhere near as efficient as Mercedes was, or Red Bull was, or the Williams was, and also you could say McLaren at the end of the season. So all this, the poor performance from the past few years, is what has given rise to so much change now within the team. Of course, the first man to step down, if you like, was the Menicali, who was quite early in the season, and I suppose he felt he had to go. I personally, I never really warmed to him at Ferrari, but I didn't really see a need for him to step down at that time. So then the Montezemolo drafted in Marco Mattiacci, who was the head of Ferrari sales in North America. So I really saw no logic in that whatsoever. Like, a salesman really does not seem capable of running a leading Formula 1 team. But I don't know, so he was kind of in he was running the team with the Montezemolo, who had to sort of come in and help out a bit more than what he would like to do and what he usually does. But then, of course, the Montezemolo stepped down as well towards the end of the season, and then Sergio Marconi, who was the head of the Fiat group, is now sort of the owner of Ferrari as well. And when Montezemolo went, that meant Masciacci had to go as well, kind of. And so now their new principal for this year will be River Bene, who has been with the team as a sponsor for the past few years and knows the team well. So it'll be interesting anyway to see how he fares. And so that's the main personnel change. Also, the drivers as well have changed. Raikkonen, of course, has been kept after quite a poor performance last year, so he will be hoping to prove what he still has and what he hasn't lost this year. Hopefully he'll get the car that he wants. And then, of course, Alonso left for McLaren, which means that Sebastian Vettel has come into Ferrari. And that, I think, will be very interesting to see if Vettel, with the new sort of energy that he's going to bring in, to see if he will have an impact and see if he can sort of bring them up with the new personnel there to its former glory. Um, and of course, so I don't really expect, like, I certainly don't expect them to challenge for the World Championship this season, but I would expect podiums on a much more regular basis than 2014, and that has been promised in a way by the team. I know they've said that they will be hoping for 2 wins, but I really think, like, if they get a win, I would really be surprised if they manage a win this season. But who knows really? And I should also mention that James Allison is part of that big group who was now in the team and helping to bring it back up if you want. Of course, moving from Lotus the past couple of years, where he was sort of the head behind the 2013 Lotus, which was very good, and of course won the last or the first race in Australia with Raikkonen. And then finally, a note on the test drivers this season. Ferrari always has a sort of a huge supply of these. It's never only one or two, so it's actually 4 this season at the moment, with Gutierrez and Verne, who have been sort of drafted in after they've lost seats from their 2014 teams, and then Marc Genet, who has been with them for a couple of years, as well as David Rigon. So that's it for Ferrari. Looking forward to an interesting year anyway ahead for them, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for listening in, and goodbye.